And welcome to the Outsider Sports Show. Clint Schweitzer joining you here as always. We are talking SEC Championship game taking place this Saturday, 3 o'clock at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. Our guest at this time, former Missouri wide receiver Wes Kemp. Wes, welcome to the show. How's everything going in your world, my man?
Everything's going well. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, Wes. Well, I saw you down on the field after Missouri knocked off Arkansas to reclaim the SEC East Championship for the second straight year. I saw you, TJ Moe, Tommy Saunders down there. Just how much pride do you take in watching this program continue to achieve at this high level?
Well, we take great pride in the coaching staff and the university that we went to and got coached by. And to see Coach Pinkel and the heat that they went under the first year in the SEC, to bounce back and really keep on doing things the way that he's always done them and still be able to compete and win at that level, it means a lot to us alumni.
I want to talk about this group of receivers. These are three seniors and three guys that have been able to make big plays down the stretch here, even though the offense started off, not on such didn't have such a hot start to the season. But just tell me, you played receiver in this offense of different variation. But talk about just playing receiver in this offense, and what do you think these guys, Darius White, Jimmy Hunt, and Bud Sasser bringing to the table?
Well, first off, kudos to them for continuing to battle, even though the season has been up and down. And then kudos to Coach Henson for adapting to the season so natty, having him throw the ball, putting a big load on him, tapering that back, and giving the defense a heavier dose of Marcus Murphy and Russell Hansborough. And then the receivers have been stepping up. We've been hindered a little bit by Darius White being out for a little bit of the year, but I think we have great chances here on Saturday since all three of them will be healthy.
Yeah, Missouri taking on, of course, the number one Alabama Crimson Tide in Atlanta for the SEC Championship last year. It was an amazing trip. Went down there. Missouri got knocked off by Auburn, but here we go, another opportunity. Just how big is it to continue to win these divisions? I mean, you guys, I think as a freshman, you guys won the Big 12 North once again, but here Missouri is winning the SEC East. Just what kind of an accomplishment is that, just getting to this game, first of all?
Well, first off, it's great accomplishment because it's one of the goals you set out. But one of these years, Coach Fiegel has been there, I think the 4 conference championships. But it's about time that we win one so we can elevate our program into that elite program status.
Yeah, hopefully that's the case. Missouri definitely, a 2-touchdown underdog in this game, but Missouri winning with defense. What have you seen out of this team? This defense, Marcus Golden, Shane Ray, just one of the best pass rushing combinations we've ever seen here at Missouri. Just talk about how Coach Pinkel has adapted this team to winning with defense versus putting up big offensive numbers like you guys maybe did in your era.
We've been defensive in D-line U or D-line 2, as they like to call it, for the past couple of years now. And, if it wasn't Alden Smith and Jacquees Smith, then you have Tony Ely, Michael Sam, and then now it's Shane Ray and Marcus Golden's time. But we also have a young and great linebacking core with brothers Shear and Newsom. They've been really stepping up to help shut down some teams. And then that also with Braylon Webb in the secondary, and also some big physical corners. They've been really doing a great job of competing.
Wes, I want to go back to your playing days. My first memory, of course, being in the Edward Jones Dome your sophomore year. You won the starting job, and it wasn't long into that game where Blaine Gabbert finds you over the middle wide open, and you take it to the house. Just go back to your playing days, some of your best memories playing. I mean, you played with 3 different quarterbacks, actually, at Missouri, which is kind of crazy. I know saw limited action only as a freshman. You played with Blaine Gabbert and James Franklin. Just kind of go back, share some of your memories. Of course, you guys won the North title in 08, but had some success 2010. Rose beat number 1 Oklahoma. Just kind of go back and take us back to some of those days.
Yeah, it was pretty special being able to start out your career in your first start, being able to do it in your hometown and get the first touchdown of that 2010 or 2009 season. But that was a special memory. Beating Kansas is always fun. Kind of bummed out that we aren't able to play them anymore for reasons that we can't control.
Right.
And then the last game, I guess everybody loves, is that number 1 win over Oklahoma at home. That stands out as one of the best wins in pro field history.
Oh, absolutely does. And, just so many great players, so many great memories, from your time playing. And, as we head here, into this era, into the SEC, I mean, you were a St. Louis guy. You committed, I think, originally to Wisconsin. What made you want to originally flip your commitment, come to Missouri, and and stay home?
Well, after we won that '07 game versus Kansas, and I was sitting and eating dinner, I guess, with my family, and it was like, hey, I'm going all these miles away when I can stay here and compete for a top team. So really what me and Blaine and Sheldon all talked about was, hey, we got to close our borders for Missouri. We should keep all our top in-state talent in-state. If we can do that, we can take our university to heights that it hasn't been to before.
And, since then, absolutely. And you talk about, Blaine Gabbert coming out of that class, St. Louis guy, Sheldon Richardson, very following soon after. I mean, you St. Louis guys really, TJ Moe kept it home, and it's been a real help. Now, that was when Missouri was in the Big 12. You committed to the Tigers playing in the Big 12. What do you think the SEC, what kind of impact does that have versus playing in, the Big 12 or Big 10?
Well, you're on a big stage every week, and I think that's the biggest thing, Clint. And then also the money is a pretty big deal as well. And you see the new renovations and add-ons to the stadium. That's going to help keep and attract new fans to the stadium.
They just announced actually today that they're going to do some south end zone renovations, going to maybe build some some offices, a weight room down there. I mean, just how cool is that? I mean, I know it's got to be a little bittersweet knowing, hey, they're getting all this new stuff now after you've graduated, but just how cool is that to see, they got the East End, building the upper deck, just and how important is that to recruits to see, improvements like that being made?
It's greatly important. And look, when I played at Texas A&M a few times, we played down there twice. The stadium even changed, and they closed off their whole stadium. Now it's full. So, I mean, evolution is a goal. Evolution is a process. So you don't look bittersweet and say, hey, they're supposed to be getting bigger. They're supposed to be attracting larger crowds. And when you look back on it, everybody had a piece who played in the earlier years into this program changing.
Well, I definitely don't want to diminish anything that Missouri did in the Big 12. Missouri was a Big 8 team, for its entire existence, and the Big 12 was formed in 1996. You guys had success there, played in the Big 12, but is it just me? Every game just feels so much bigger. Think about this. Missouri has won at the Swamp, at Texas A&M at Kyle Field, at South Carolina, and at Neyland Stadium in the same season. I mean, that just how much bigger an impact does that make? I mean, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, it really is. And then it's just saying, hey, we're on the move, and then now they can't make the excuse about the Big 12. So we're all really happy about where the program's going, and now hopefully we can get the basketball on track too.
Before we let you go, of course, after this season, Missouri's going to lose its top 3 receivers, and you as a former receiver, there's not a lot of proven talent out there. We've seen guys like Nate Brown, Jamon Moore, guys like that have gotten to some games this year. But how hard is it to acclimate yourself into this offense as a young player? I mean, you've got so many reads, so many different things to learn. I imagine that it's going to be maybe a challenge for Missouri at the receiver position next year.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a great opportunity. You see some people see it as a challenge. I see it as a great opportunity for these young guys to get indoctrinated into college football, play early. We're going to have some new good recruits come in, and then, hey, what the heck, you throw the pads on, and before you know it, another star will be born.
Yeah, definitely hoping so for that. Now, like I mentioned earlier, you played with 3 different quarterbacks. You caught a pass from Chase Daniel as a freshman. You played 2 years with Blaine Gabbert and finished off by playing with James Franklin. How does Missouri's current quarterback, Matty Mock, who struggled earlier in the season, how does he stack up with some of these former great quarterbacks at Missouri, Brad Smith included?
Well, it's going to really be hard to say. Obviously, he's had some early success when he was playing a little bit as a freshman, and this year, hey, it's a full load. But then also, to be fair, he hasn't had the deepest group of receivers. Right now, we have very talented receivers across the starting board, but behind that, we've always been accustomed to having 2 or 3 starters at each receiver position. But I think, hey, he's still a sophomore underclassman, and I'm looking for him to have a real big year next year.
Absolutely, Wes. I'll tell you what, such a big game here in Atlanta coming up. The SEC Championship is on the line. Missouri with the win is still likely not going to move into that Final Four playoff situation, but an SEC Championship, you're not going to cheat that any day of the week. What's your prediction for this game, and how do you see it playing out?
Hopefully, I'm thinking 31-24 Tigers.
I love it.
I think if our defense can step up and we can force a few turnovers, if we can get 2 turnovers out of Sims early on, I think if our defense can hold, I think we can put a few points on the board. Wes,
I'll tell you what, if that happens, I'm rushing the field again at the Georgia Dome, just like last week, and I don't care. I'm swiping Pinkel's visor off his head. If that's what it's going to take, I'll be right on the field if that prediction holds true. We're going to hold you to that, okay?
All right, hey, do it for all of us.
Hey, Wes, I'll tell you what, thank you so much for joining us, taking time out to come on here on the Outsider Sports Show. Definitely let's catch up again down the road, and hope all's well, my man. Let's keep in touch.
All right, sounds good. Take care.